Well, is this how you guys start every single time?
Yep.
Oh, snap.
Pero si te ponen los headphones mejor. ¿Sí me escucho?
Tú no tienes headphones.
¿Se escucha él?
Yo no te digo nada.
Yeah.
Los míos son wirelessly.
Do a little sound test. No, he's
Oh,
low.
yeah.
You guys really
Mic
start
number
the
four.
podcast.
Mic number 4.
Talk.
Oh, yeah.
Don't do that. Just
All the way up. All the way up.
the way you would talk normally?
Hey, guys.
No, that's not it.
Welcome to
Yeah, it's number 4.
This
And then up here. Up here.
Oh, it's muted.
podcast.
There we go.
Yeah. And then make sure the level's so up here at the very front, at the top.
10
Yeah, it's good.
Not at the very top. At the very top, there's a gain.
Okay, yeah, it's the same
Yeah.
as the other ones.
It's lined up. Hello, hello.
Just
Is this how close?
turn it up on him a little bit more. The number 4. Little knob. Yeah. Turn it up a little bit more.
10-4, 10-4.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Dude, Ray, I've done this before.
I can't tell.
All right.
And we're live.
When
We're
you lie in
live
a
and
resume.
at our post. And we're live again here at Living the Dream podcast with Luis and Ray. Ray today is out. Well, he's here, but he's going to be out.
Make a guest
I'm here.
appearance.
Make your appearance, please. And he's got some priorities that he needs to take care of. And but today we have our special guests with an S, Giovanni Zuniga, and our very own hometown hero,
Uh-huh.
Edgar and
Angeles.
Do you not know his name and last name?
Yes, but I was going to say Angelus.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
No, not yet.
Angeles.
Not until the story.
Not yet.
It's still
Because
Angeles.
he's still, wait, he's already a
Pues
U.S.
estoy
citizen.
ya. Soy mexicano, todavía no tejano.
Yeah.
Y lo debemos de hacer en español todo el día hoy.
Yo hablo puro, todo pocho.
Pocho.
Poch.
El 90% de la población no sabe qué es pocho.
So here we have our, all of us here are from Conroe, right?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Willis?
Yo soy de San Luis. Rio Verde
Okay, this
area.
guy's from
And then
Rio Verde
La
area.
Frontera, Brownsville area.
Was anybody born here? Ray was born here.
I was.
All right.
In Brownsville, La Frontera.
You're close enough.
Close enough.
Yeah,
And
close
then-
enough. I was born in Guanajuato.
Guanajuato. and
Hidalgo.
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 You too?
Both of you guys are
Yeah,
born in...
I was born in Hidalgo.
So yeah, we're born in the same hospital.
Yeah.
No, maybe 2 hours away.
No,
I
dude,
drive
I'm
by
pretty
his hometown.
I'm pretty sure we were born at the same hospital.
Pretty sure. About 90%?
Yeah, I think so. In Mexico, they divide the rooms just with curtains, and I'm pretty sure I was the next curtain over.
Pretty positive.
Even though you are not the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Science and biology doesn't matter here.
Yeah.
It's just logic.
It's all fun, no facts.
All right, so we wanna start opening cans or no? Cause
Opening cancer.
no
Yeah, you said cancer.
cans or no, like opening like those kind of cans of news that we've heard. So for example,
I thought we were opening cancer. I was like,
no.
it's very sad.
So let me see if I can find it. There was a tweet by the U.S. government. Was it?
This thing's getting serious.
Where they stated that.
This is fun, no facts.
No fun, no facts. This is becoming all facts.
Okay, I'll have to find it. We'll get to that in a bit. But
All right, guys. You
basi-
guys have a good episode.
thank
All
you.
right. Deuce. You just
What-
leave it.
What mic is it?
Number 3.
I can mute it.
Hello.
Hello.
We're good. Okay.
And now it's Living the Dream with Luis and friends.
Yep. All right. Now that he's gone,
Now that he's gone, we can start talking about
the real
Brownsville.
stuff. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself for all of the people that don't know you.
It's like,
My hashtag is amazing. Sometimes it's
Went straight-
vanidoso.
Straight for the plug.
I was born in Hidalgo. Came over here when I was 3.
3. I came here when I was 4.
4.
Oh, wow. Go ahead. Keep going.
moved in with my parents. Lived in Conroe since '93, and did the high school thing in Conroe.
The high school.
Went to Lone Star. Went to University of Tyler, and now I'm did mechanical engineering. Now I work for oil and gas.
Oh, dang,
That's just a vague story.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
It is
So
not.
for all of those out there that didn't think we had smart friends, we do. Many guests of the podcast are a lot smarter than us, and this is another example.
Well, you just gotta fake it till you make it.
So, Edgar, our podcast is called Living the Dream. Okay, so it's living the dream because we were sold this idea that this was the dream, go to school or get a good job or make a lot of money. But now that we're here, it's kind of like an ironic name to say living the dream, but what dream, right? It's like
Oh, well,
you're living the dream, but it's like it's not what they sold you for, but it is.
They.
So it's like, what is your take on the American dream?
well, as far as the salary, it's there, but I have no life.
Okay, so personally, I grew up. I don't think we can say, per se that we were friends, but we knew of each other. We rode the same bus for a few years, and I always saw you as a cool kid. I got here later. I was about 9 years old. I had to go through that whole phase of learning English in school, and I always looked at you, and you were walking around with your skateboard, and you had a cool last name, and you always seemed like a very fun, active, very happy kid. So my question to you now is like, you followed that path of going to school, and you say it's the money's there, but you have no life. Do you feel that you've given up on some things to pursue the career and the career path that you have, or do you think that that's what you had in mind when you were going through it is what you've gotten at the end of the day?
So when I got into the oil gas, I didn't have a choice. That was like my last option. I was trying to get a design job somewhere local, and but mechanical
engineering
design,
yeah.
Which is very similar, but it's very different.
yeah. And I had no luck, so I took the job as a MWD engineer at a small shop, and that was, you work out of town for weeks at a time, and then from there I transitioned to a different company that had more regular job, and my schedule was working 21 days straight, 7 days off, and then it's 12-hour shifts. And then where I'm at now, I'm for an operator and still. So work-life
balance
is way, 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 way off. So
Has it always been off like your whole life, or is it something that's just started, or is it something like
I've been on it for 5 years.
yeah, but during school and like
So
like
to
all
answer your question,
Go ahead.
sorry. With school, 2 years I did 16 hours a month, 16 hours a day or a semester.
Mm-hmm.
So I sacrificed parties, and I would go eat, hang out with the family for an hour, go back to studying. Then I started work, and now I'm missing Christmas, I'm missing Thanksgiving, I'm missing birthdays, weddings, all because I have to work, all because I can't get off or I have no one to cover me. So it's been even more than 5 years now that I think about it, as far as losing important dates. Not like normal people that have the 8 to 5. I can't make those days like most people. So there's that.
yeah. So that's kind of what I was thinking about. Is like, so I did that too for school, right, and then for work. Not the same, not the same level, but it's like you get in that same mindset of like struggle, sacrifice that you're like, well, it's kind of like nothing's changed, so just keep going, right? And it's like you eventually get out of it, but whenever you're in it and in that like sacrifice pretty much your whole time and your whole life for either work or school, it's like it's not gonna get much worse. So you're in it, and you're like, well, I'm in it already. It's not much different than what it was. So there's not that factor of like, oh, I'm gonna get out of it 100 like now because you're already in it. You know, it's like a different mindset. It's like you're poor, you're already poor. There's not gonna be much different than that. I don't know if that explains it, but it's like you're already in that mindset in school of like grinding, hustling, not sacrificing sleep. Now you're in the same mindset, but in work. So the shift didn't really change for you, right?
No.
We don't want this to sound like an intervention either. We were just asking a question, and I think part of like him asking the question, I understand what he comes from because I'm his friend, and I've had many conversations with him. But he said he felt that at some point because for him, you know, he gave up the like he said, he gave up a lot of things while he was going to school. So when he had this job where he was making that 1 hour plus commute every single day, 2 plus back from work, it was that same mindset of like, well, I was doing more than this at school, so this is just a part of, you know, what comes with it.
Right.
And I think to add to what he said about, you know, like, I think one of the benefits of doing things like what you're doing is like you're looking at this as I'm doing this for like whatever the purpose is for you in the long run, but I don't think anything lasts forever, right? So I don't think that you're just going to stay there and not look for a different opportunity. So it's important always for people to understand that whatever you're going through at this moment is not, you know, the end all be all if you don't want it to be. So I don't know. You still seem, you know, and this might be looking from the outside in, you still look like a very fun guy. Every time I see you, you have a smile on your face. So I always think that a positive outcome for life is going to help you too. So
yeah.
What do you do for fun? I know you do a lot of things for fun just from what I've seen, like on snaps and like, you know, like your Instagram stories.
You can't forget about the TikToks.
The TikToks. Oh, you're on TikTok, huh?
I'm
You
not
know,
on TikTok.
you know how
I log in every once in a while and I get all the reshares from both of you guys.
This is gonna be funny. I saw one of his TikTok videos because he reposted it on Instagram, and that's whenever that I forgot what song was that
Top Gun song.
That no. Oh, I think that might have been another one. The one where you are like next to the door. And then
the red light challenge.
The red light challenge.
I was like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah, it took everyone by surprise.
I liked it. So so that for me is like, and this might be a personal opinion, but for me is like, don't take life too serious.
Oh yeah.
Right. So whatever you're going through, you know, some people call it sacrifice. Other people just call it, you know, your everyday. You know, whatever it is, you know, take everything with a grain of salt. Work is work, but you still, the time that you get off from work or whatever, you still have time to enjoy yourself. And I feel like you've always done that. I really, you know, enjoy like your posts that you make. It's always like some type of humor. And I think that's like a really cool part of you that I see from the outside in again. But going a little bit deeper, what are some things that you enjoy doing? Like, I know, for example, bike riding is one of them.
Oh, yeah. Went from road biking, but it's dangerous if you go by yourself. So transition to mountain biking.
I would think mountain biking is more dangerous.
I've actually gotten hurt mountain biking more than I have road bike. But the way I see it is road biking, you get hit, you're like done by a car. And if you hit a tree, you can kind of, you know, still recover.
So
I've hit a tree too.
Yeah. Road bike is more of, it's a bigger, lower risk, but the results of the loss is catastrophic.
Yeah.
Existential, literally.
That's cool.
So, and then I like smoking briskets, pork butts.
Oh, okay. I was like smoking. Smoking.
Like, you know, his job stock just went down. I thought you're gonna have an Elon Musk moment right now.
No. No, you know, I gotta be ready for any of those randoms, so can't be doing that.
So I didn't know that you like smoking brisket.
Yeah.
As a fellow, you know,
brisket eater,
I feel like I should have known this.
I need to make.
How long do they last? I know another friend. You probably know him, Jonathan Suarez. I think that's his last name. Yeah, Suarez.
Does he work in a hospital?
Yeah, he does briskets as well, and he does like I think it's like 17 hours or 18 hours,
It depends on the size, and then how fast you cook it.
and he has to wake up at 3 a.m. to
Flip it.
to do whatever he does, the wizardry. Yeah. it's true.
So
Tell us
if
the
you
process.
do, I do offset smoking, which is just all natural wood. It's not the.
Let me interrupt you before you go into the process. How did you even get into this?
I don't know. It's just like I just wanted to cook for a family because briskets are too expensive to be buying off the store.
This is true.
So I was like, no, let me try it. Everyone talks about
It's
it.
like $40, no? Like a big thing. I
Well,
don't
it
even know
used
what
to
they
be
call it.
$40,
a
but the-
rump. What is it? A rump? What is it called?
Isn't the rumper like the one piece thing that you would wear?
What are they called?
I don't
a
even
brisket?
know what it's just the
Shoulder?
shoulder or the whatever this part is. I don't know what it's called, but one's the
Spleen?
I don't
The
even-
brisket. Yeah, it's the
it's-
brisket.
I just know it's the
yeah.
brisket.
I did a graphic of one, and I had to split it all
Oh,
up.
yeah, that's right.
And I don't even remember. But,
Hmm.
go ahead. So you had to cook for your family, and then
Yeah,
you thought
so
it's more
I
affordable?
watched- Yeah, and I watched 20 YouTube videos. I took notes. I asked all my friends, "What do you do?" And I was like, "YOLO, I'm gonna."
Did
wanna
you
do
have to
one.
buy the
The
thing,
equipment? So
No,
what was the initial expense to like, it's not like, oh, I'm going to buy a brisket and I have the grill ready or the smoker. Did you have to go out and buy all that stuff too?
No, my dad gets a lot of free grills, and we just happen to have a
Oh, wow.
free offset smoker.
Wow.
So you were set for success already from the get-go.
Yeah, I just had to buy the wood and the brisket.
Where do you buy the wood? Like just
I go to Academy and buy the bags of already cut applewood or
Is
cherry.
it cheaper that way or is it just more accessible?
It's a type of wood, so you don't get regular.
Like you're not going to find that
'cause
kind of wood in Conroe, Texas.
I think that wood or some of them are pellets too, no?
It depends.
Yeah.
If you get a pellet smoker, then you'll get the pellets. But you
But they
get the
burn
little
slower,
chunks.
right? They
My dad has a
Yeah.
Traeger. He uses
Yeah.
the pellets.
Those are nice. If you don't want, so
He still has some of the older ones that where you have to like manually do it. But
now
nowadays,
have Bluetooth and
yeah, you can literally
app.
it gives you the app gives you recipes. The app lets you like start, stop. It tells you when it's ready, when to flip it.
That's what Jonathan has. He was telling me about it.
the pellet
The
grill.
pellet grill, and then he has it on his phone, and then he wakes him up at 3 a.m. to go check the temperature.
to wrap it, most likely.
Mm.
That's what it sounds
Okay.
like. So,
So-
if you do offset, you have to keep an alarm going every hour or you'll lose your flame.
So you're like a
Oh.
samurai building
Yeah.
his katana, making his
So-
katana. You just got to be there with it all day.
Basically, you got to
Yeah.
babysit it because if
Yeah.
you fall asleep like me sometimes, then you have to start over. Yeah.
So what's the process? So from
Okay,
the
so
beginning.
yeah,
From the beginning, so you find your brisket, whichever size you want. I usually get the big ones for Thanksgiving. I smoke 2 every year. So that's about 30 pounds. I put 2 in my thing.
and how much is that? Like your cost?
Just for the meat, it's probably now like 75, 80 bucks for a 16 pound for prime.
And how many people does that feed?
Oh, it feeds 30. Easily with
You
leftovers.
get two?
No, that's together. That's for hungry 30 people. That's not the McKinsey serving size 30 people.
You're
This
talking
is-
about
Throwing
big,
shots.
Yeah,
big, yeah,
Yeah, and then
big portions.
the
Big
way I do it
bodies.
is, yeah, we didn't get
That
this
for
way
nothing.
being picky.
We didn't cut the fat off.
No, you do. You
Oh,
do.
okay.
You get about an inch layer around.
Okay, so like, does that give it more flavor if you keep the fat?
No, it's just when you say you slice your meat and all that, you'll have a big old chunk of just fat.
Okay, so you pick your meat, and then what?
Oh, so fast forward to you get into the house. Well, I usually poke it to see if it's kind of tender or not.
At
If it's too
the
hard,
meat at the
at the store.
Mm.
So you don't want it too hard.
You you want it to bend too, so it's more tender. At least it'll be tender at the end result. Yeah, so that's what I know. I don't know if I'm
Who
speaking.
told you that?
On YouTube.
Oh, YouTube.
Is that kind of like when you go to a watermelon, you're like, that's a good one.
Yeah, I still don't know how to pick a watermelon. I know if you smell a pineapple at the bottom,
Oh, yeah.
it smells like pineapple. It's good.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get home with your brisket, and then what?
I usually, you can pre-season it. I throw a whole bunch of salt and just let that sit overnight. Or if I'm in a rush, I'll just season it. Or I trim the fat and then add the seasoning. I add salt.
This.
Sometimes I'm lazy and I get the salt lick brisket rub, and I just pack it with mustard. Or first you layer it with mustard and then add the seasoning.
So the mustard is just to kind of...
It's just a coating.
Yeah.
Like kind of have the thing stick to it. Maybe I might use Chick-fil-A sauce next time. Maybe that'll make a difference.
And then so when do you start cooking, or what? Or so you've set it overnight, it's ready.
So yeah, so what I'll do is I'll pull the brisket out, whether it's been sitting in the fridge or I'll just buy it, and I let it rest, do room temp, and at the same time I'm doing that, I'm starting my smoker. I'll get I don't know if y'all know, it's chimney. You throw charcoal in there, you throw your woods, and then it'll be a focused hard flame, and I'll throw my chunks in, and then I'll lay it on my pit, and then kind of start smoking. I'll season the grill or if anything, and just kind of get it to temp.
So for visual reference, how big is this grill? Because
That's
I always imagine
36
smokers like big.
36 by 20 or something like that. I got it made in Pasadena.
So it's not your dad's anymore?
No, I got another one.
Oh, he's stepping
But the first time was from your dad's.
Yeah, and then this one cost me like 600 something.
Nice.
So
you had it made. You had it made.
Yeah, I did.
So it's not like one of the store boughts.
Is it up to spec?
You said
no. I later on I'll get a better one.
So that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Like, are you gonna? Is this like this was pretty good, but I'm thinking of getting something else in the future.
Oh yeah, for La Sasada.
So is there like something that you have your eye on right now?
No, not yet.
No.
So back to the process.
Yes.
I just want to finish the process.
Yeah. So this is the brisket seasoned, and I'm just gonna go the lazy way. But you can usually just go with salt, pepper, and I throw brown sugar. But the salt lick season is the lazy way.
Did they sell that at like H-E-B?
Yeah, that's where I've seen it. Oh, honestly, my mom gets it for free from one of her boss ladies, so I just use that.
Dude, you got the hookup for
I know.
everything.
I don't have. So that's the process. The seasoning, it can be any way. You can Google it. It can however you want it. So I just do it the lazy way or just salt, pepper.
Salt and pepper usually goes good with everything.
Everything.
Steaks.
But I need to cut back on my salt, because I'm getting old and health issues.
How often do you cook a brisket? How often do
It
you
used
smoke
to be pretty regular as soon as I got it, but now for sure Thanksgiving, and then once it gets a little colder.
Are you the brisket guy now?
I'm
People know you?
I'm the family brisket guy. Yeah. Or people try to ask me, hey, can you cook me a brisket? I was like, well, I'm working.
So the process of like after you put it in.
Yeah, so that's the important part. Most people say, oh, cook it for 12, cook it for 16. It's not that way. It depends on how high your heat is. If your smoke temperature is 225, then you have to just keep an eye on the internal temperature of your brisket. And you usually smoke that until you get to 165, which is it kind of goes like this on the trail or graph, and then it plateaus right there. And tells every smoker when to wrap it with aluminum foil or butcher's paper. That's probably why your friend wakes up at 3 a.m.
So you throw it in there just like that.
Yeah, and I spritz it. So I use vinegar.
So you wait till it plateaus and then you wrap it to increase the temperature inside.
To your 200, 205.
And what do you keep on it to monitor? Is it like a digital
Yeah, I use
thing?
a little internal thing, and I have an alarm on that too. It's an old school one, but it's not as fancy as the Traeger, but it does the same job. Yeah. And then I still get a regular temperature, and I poke it.
So
test.
So what happens if, let's say, you wait too long to wrap it?
Oh, I actually do that on purpose until I get my bark just right, because I like it nice and black everywhere, because it gives you that nice
and crisp.
Yeah.
Okay.
how's your first time whenever you did it?
It was probably one of the best ones I've done. Was my
Oh,
first
wow.
one.
Those are
So
those
you
are
followed it probably the recipe precise.
Yeah.
I think those are the best ones, like your first thing that you do, because you always kind of, like you said, you follow recipes to the T, and it's like once you get that first one right, then you're kind of hooked. You want to do it again.
Yeah. But you have your pros and cons, your ups and downs on it. It's never the perfect every time, but it works.
So you can see the comments on there
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's what probably Jonathan does in the mornings. I mean, at 3 a.m, is get up and wrap it. So
And then once you get to 200, you let it rest. And I've done it for 4 hours, and sometimes that means just
dang,
Yeah.
ready.
ready.
Yeah, where you just like grab the bone and it literally just
Boy,
falls off.
ain't no bone in there.
Well, oh yeah, it's a brisket.
Maybe pork butt.
So
And
this grill that you had made, did you send them specs or were they already
No,
like pre-made?
Is that what they do?
I was looking on Facebook Marketplace trying to find me a used one, and I saw his post, and
Got him.
it pretty much what I was looking for, and I was
what,
like, hey,
what were you looking for? Like a
offset smoker.
yeah, but was it a certain size or a certain temperature?
Yeah,
that they could
everything.
reach?
And then he posted the measurements, so I just went and got a tape measure. I'm like, yeah, that's a good size. I can see that. You can tell me a number, but I don't know until I see
Yeah,
it.
until you measure it
Uh,
yourself.
I have a question, and I don't know if you've gone this route, but like there's groups for everything on Facebook. Have you joined any groups?
No, I used to, but I'm not really active on social media as much as I used to be. Just because when I'm at work, I get distracted pretty easily, so I avoid all kinds of.
Do you,
distractions.
your job, like you have to be super focused on the
Yeah,
and stuff.
so what I focus on at work is water transfer. So
If you want to go into it, like kind of dumb it down for a lot of us, you can do that.
Yeah, so I send water to the frac sites. They use a ton of water. I use fresh water and recycled water, which will go to it. They use about, I don't know, 2 million gallons a day, maybe more. No.
And I feel bad for leaving my faucet on.
Yeah,
the
I
extra
used to
5
think the
seconds.
same. And I'm like, man, we use way more water than this. I'm going to leave that on and do this something else. But now we try to use more recycled water, which is produced water coming from when they open the well up to produce oil, gas, and water. And then that goes to our recycling facility. We treat it and we shoot it back down and use that for frack again.
what's frac again?
Fracking is so you drill your well.
Like the fracking drill.
No, it's two completely different things. So you first drill your well, and most of them do horizontal wells. Then you set the casing, and then you close it, and then frac goes in there, and they shoot holes on the wellbore, and then they'll shoot acid. Each stage is normally about 400,000 pounds of sand, and then a whole bunch of water. And then that opens up the pores on the formation, so you can get more oil out of
What's the formation?
So
Geology.
the porosity of the rock where it stores the oil.
Geology.
Yeah.
You didn't take geology?
So okay. I'm a visual guy, so I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
So say this is just you have your rock formation here. Here's a cap, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then here you have your type of rock, limestone or whatever it is. I don't even know what kind of. I don't do geology, but I know there's.
It's not limestone.
Yeah. It's shell. Here's your rock, and then here's your formation, and it could be acres and acres, and it's a cap where your oil and all that is in there, or gas. It could be just straight gas or oil or a mixture of both.
And this is where? Here in Texas?
West Texas.
West Texas, there's a lot of
Oh, there's a
energy.
ton.
All
Yeah.
the oil set. What do you think of? Is it an endless
Supply?
I don't think so.
Will run out
Well,
eventually.
yeah, just like water. I think in my opinion, we're using more than what we're taking.
of water,
Both. I
both
think.
energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like in Saudi Arabia, they have like one of the biggest reservoirs of oil that they're the richest people in the world. Like $1 trillion is nothing for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have an endless amount of money because it's not quantifiable in our type of currency, because their reservoirs are so huge that it would take like thousands of lifetimes for them to finish the amount of money that they have. So it's like it's not even quantifiable how much money they have.
Right.
So they don't even say that they're the richest people, but they are. So, but you think that
Are you saying they control the world?
maybe? But like this resource in West Texas is from your perspective, it's we'll run out of it soon.
I think, I mean, for now, we're good. But if we keep drilling for, I don't know how many years, I think there's going to be nothing to drill anymore.
What do you base this guess from? Is it like actual things that you have learned in school? Like, okay, we're like, or is it just like just the feeling that you have that we're drilling too much and we're using more than we are?
That's just my best guess, because I'm not even a petroleum engineer. I'm
Yeah.
a mechanical, and I'm doing petroleum engineering job. So, you know, you got all these operators drilling the same lease, and, you know, your wells produce a lot at the beginning, and then they trend down. And so I feel like you can only get so much oil out of this one well. And if you keep drilling on the same lease, but varies, and you get a little less every time.
I'll ask a stupid
So it's like a
question.
trend, right? It's a trend of going down, and I mean, some can only go down to the
Some-
bottom.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask, like, I don't know if this is a stupid question or not, but it seems
Probably
like a
is.
very water wells. You can drill, get water out of the water well, and it'll eventually fill back up. Is that the same with oil?
No, because oil is fossil fuels that have been deposited there for millions of years.
Yeah. Water wells comes from an aquifer, and there's a lot of water traveling through there.
I just wanted to ask that question for a lot of people that may have that in the back of their head, just because, you know, we assume a lot of things, but we don't know. So it's always good to hear from like people that are educated like yourself.
Do they have a map of the reservoirs or the wells? Do they have them mapped out, or is it just like poke? Oh, there it is. Poke. There it is.
No, we don't drill it like that. No, it's got to be,
It's like
yeah, you have your reservoir, and then there's a lot of legal stuff, but you drill in that formation that you're. Then we have the geo steering guys that put it right on the money every time to kind of maximize that specific.
but they don't have like a map.
Yeah, they should be. That's geology stuff. I don't really talk to any of those
They probably
guys.
have like what is it called? Ultrasound, something like
The
that.
reservoir engineer probably have
Yeah.
the whole schematic of.
Have you guys ever like had to drill this way and ended up drilling that way?
Yeah, that's definitely a servicing company problem, and they'll probably get the door out.
Yeah, but it's happened before.
Yeah.
So how much money
Not
is
with us,
lost
but-
in something like that?
I don't know. That's probably, I don't know,
Like
a lot of
thousands,
money. Yeah,
hundreds of thousands?
100,000 minimum. And that if that happens, that's probably going to fall on that service company that messed up.
That's crazy. So you have to be very aware of what you're doing. And you said I had to get rid of these apps because they were causing a distraction.
It's like,
Oh yeah, so back to what I was doing.
oh, TikTok.
So
Snaps! I just lost the company $100,000. Let me
Yeah.
just put this away.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much manage my guys in the field, and then I keep eyes on all the batteries where all the produced water goes in and oil, and then I just make sure that there's no pipeline pressures, everything's flowing good.
That's why you
Frac
have
is
like
getting enough rate.
9 screens.
Yeah.
So
More screens, more problems.
you went to school for this, right? But I don't think this was the case always, like in history. could somebody not go to school and then just be appointed this job and just learn it?
Yeah,
I
there's a
think
lot
so.
of people that I've talked to, not a lot, but a few people that I've talked to that they've worked there for like 10 years. And they're like, oh man, I know this job better than the people that are coming in from school or the, but yeah, it's something that specific trade you can learn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen that happen.
I think there's some analytical things that would help you out going to school as far as problem solving, but other than operating the thing is not that difficult. Just a lot of stress when stuff happens.
Where
How
does
to
the
handle
stress fall on you personally? Whenever like on your day to day, what is the most stressful thing about your job?
So just downtime. Downtime falls a lot,
Mm.
and if something happens, you have to deal with a lot of calling servicing companies to come fix this thing, and how long you have to. The other, like the frac site, has to wait on us for getting them the water so they can keep fracking, or if they stop fracking, we can get a water. Where to send our water, or having to choke back stuff just to keep the operations at.
So basically, like maintaining a very low downtime to where you can have all moving parts working at
Yeah, 'cause
as much as possible.
The way it is, if you can't get rid of water, you can't make oil. Or if you can't get rid of gas, you can't make oil, and that's your bread maker right there.
Mm-hmm.
So
So it's very much an engineering job where you have to be very efficient and manage all your resources.
yeah, you have to make quick, good decisions also, as far as seeing what the next step is. As far as
What's the worst thing that's happened?
oh man,
That's a good one.
yeah,
If it's gonna get you into legal trouble, you don't have to say anything.
yeah. I probably won't say much, but it costs some money. Yeah, you learn from your mistakes.
In your previous job,
You live and you learn.
Oh yeah. My old job was
what was the worst thing that happened there?
I just managing. There was anti-collision. At my old job, I used to work with anti-collision, so directional drilling, and I would just tell them, hey, you're about to hit this well or whatever.
That already, right off the bat, you said anti-collision. What's the worst thing that's ever happened? Already setting it
The
up for.
opposite of that.
So it got to a point where it was some surveys. Surveys are where the drill is going, the well is going. And I was with a well planner working with the geologist, and some things weren't matching. And then it's just had to go back and forth between like 5 people to kind of iron out the situation and the problem. And then I had some other guy, hey, I can't get this to work. Like, yeah, I'm working on it. Just don't worry about it right now. I had a panic attack. I had to step out. It was bad. And then I realized that is not even a tip of the iceberg where I am now. So
Wow.
I can handle stress. It's just there's times where people say, oh, what I can do to get this job. Like, if you can handle the stress, then you probably be able to get paid or whatever. But sometimes it's not worth it, because there's times where I just want to throw the towel and just quit and go back to.
Is the stress because it falls under you? Like, if it's your responsibility if it goes wrong, or why?
Would you be like the scapegoat? Like if something happens, they're like, well, you're the one in charge. It's your fault.
So no, you're really getting blamed for. You can only do so much for where you're at, but you have to just communicate with everybody, and don't beat around the bush. That's one thing that I've learned is if you try to hide something, it's gonna come back at you 2-3 times as worse as.
So if you see something, just call it out right away.
Yeah. Or like, hey man, I might have a problem here in maybe 6 hours, or if this keeps going, then we're good. Or if I see something, hey, is this working? Like, communication is key. So I think that's.
I just picture like Armageddon when they find out that the asteroid is gonna hit Earth, and they are scrambling, and then there's this guy running to tell somebody important, and they're like, "Oh, don't worry about it."
Yeah,
It's gonna hit us all. That's crazy. And we talk about this on our little group chat, how like
sorry.
stress It's like the worst thing that's ever happened to you is the worst thing that's ever happened to you, and you usually like your level of resistance to stress or different things, all these different cursors, whatever you want to call them, tends to increase the more you are under tension. Do you think that your level of controlling yourself under stress has increased throughout time?
Substantially.
So whenever you're off, how are you?
I don't stress for nothing. Yeah. When I'm on days off, I turn my work notifications off, and I'll only answer if they call me. I don't like to think about work, because if I do, then I'll dream about it, and then I wake up stressing sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So I try to just void off and just worry about my living, and then when I'm at work mode, then I'll work. But
so my next question was going to be, like I said, the worst thing that's happened to you is the worst thing that's happened to you. So when you're going through those tough and stressful moments, and you're like, man, I want to quit. You could use that moment to realize, like, well, this is like something that I got over today that was really stressful. This just built me a little bit better for the next time that comes. That way you can, kind of feel a little bit more at ease of like, okay, well, this is a stressful job, but I know that the more I am resilient to this stress, the better I'll get with it. What would be like your next position up, personally, that you would like to have, or just go to a whole different company?
if I stay with them, I want to get into designing like all the lines for water or gas or oil. Maybe, projecting more into it. If not, then probably find that position somewhere else now that I have the experience of what I'm doing now.
Yeah. So all these things that you're taking into are kind of getting you ready for that next step, building your
My
your
resume,
catalog, your resume, all that
Your
stuff.
experience, basically.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
And then probably try to end up back here in Houston, because at the moment I work in Austin.
Austin?
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about oil, gas, brisket, Austin. You reminded me that I saw this documentary on Netflix where this Mexican restaurant started selling brisket tacos. Have you guys seen that?
That's the only way I eat my brisket.
Really?
Yeah. No bread, no pickles, none of that. Taco, tortilla,
really?
chile. Yeah.
Damn, that sounds good.
It's way better.
Sounds good. Yeah, and
We
he's
definitely
very
have
popular.
to try some. Is there any restaurants here that offer brisket tacos? I think I've.
Maybe like a washed out version of like what a real taco should be like.
There's some in the Hideaway, I think, here in downtown. It has some brisket tacos, but I haven't tried them.
Yeah. You got to chop it, though. You can't just do the whole slice. And then you usually get the fattier part. That tastes even better. But what I do is I
You
just
see
chop
the way his
everything up.
eyes cleared up.
Yeah, see, I'm fat for a reason.
It's a good reason to.
It is.
Enjoying the food.
So, I got lost in brisket.
Yeah, no. If you want, we can kind of go back to the next position that you were talking about, ending up back in Houston, because right now you're in Austin. So are you back and forth?
Yeah, I work 2 weeks in Austin. I stay over there, and then days off, I come over here. Work mode is off. Live mode is on.
Yeah.
So on your days off, you're basically not producing any income, right? Or are you salary based, or is it like, how is that?
So I'm contract. I'm LLC.
You're your own business then.
I'm my own business.
But they give you a contract like, this is how much we're gonna pay you.
Yeah, I get paid per day, not per hour.
Are you hiring?
Not at the moment.
So can you hire, or is that just like their legal way of saying you're an employee, but you're also a company?
A week, I can help with the hiring process. If I need more people, then I'll say, hey, we need people, and then this might be a good candidate, and I'll send it to somebody else, and maybe we can work out something.
But right now you're just by yourself.
In the office, I'm by myself, and I have like 6 guys in the field.
So you pay them.
They invoice.
They invoice you, but the money goes to them.
They invoice us as the oil and gas,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
and we'll sign some of the invoices for them. Because we have.
So what you're saying is you're keeping money from the other people.
No, I don't. If anything, the servicing companies, that hire those guys are keeping company from them or money from them. Because I know how much the servicing company's charging us versus
This is the
they're getting
conversation we
paid.
wanted.
So the people that you have are under your LLC, or they're under?
No.
They're their own their LLC, or they're under.
I think they're W-2 from a third-party company.
But you are your own. Like you are under your LLC.
Yeah, that's
you don't have
how.
employees.
No, I don't. No,
So they wanted to do it this way, right? It's not
Yeah,
like you
the structure is set up for
for their benefit.
probably legal.
it's
Mm.
and it benefits me as well because I can choose how much. The way I have my
The way I have to
LLC set up, I have an
we
S
don't
corp.
have to get into legal.
I have an S corp set up, so I
Okay.
pay myself my own salary,
Mm.
and I only pay taxes on that salary versus what I really make. So it's nice way around the.
You didn't teach me this way. I know an S corp, but there's like you have to pay taxes up front, something like that.
No, I payroll taxes. I do quarterly payments.
Mm.
But you can also, instead of a Roth or SEP RA or a traditional RA, I have a SEP RA, and you're not capped out at the 6,000 or whatever a year. It's you can put more into it, and it's still tax deductible.
So this is
Very
what going to
smart.
school looks like, right?
Yeah. And then you pay your salary based on what you want it to be.
So you're
whether-
saving a lot on taxes, basically.
At the moment, no, because I'm. And there's a reason, because on contract and I want to buy a house, I have to pay myself a decent salary to claim that as a W-2.
Did you go to Trump Academy or something?
No.
Trump
but
University.
Trump University?
it pays having a CPA as a guide. So
Yeah, I need one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's cool. So in these 4 weeks, or how many weeks? 2 weeks? 1 week that you're off? Sorry,
1 week.
I went way,
no, you're fine.
So
One
two-
week.
way over.
two-
Two
I don't
on,
get
one
paid.
off. You
Yeah.
don't get paid then.
No. So
But you get paid enough in these 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
That you're like, that
Yes.
you don't have to say,
He
oh, I'm
gets
gonna get a
paid
side
most
job.
people's 6-month salary.
I'm not gonna get a side job between these 7 days that I'm off. Or,
No. I invoice 3 times a month or 2, depending. I only pay myself 1 time a month.
Because
So,
we're all about hustle in this podcast.
Yeah, it's the hustle culture.
And if you're just sitting down, you're missing out on a bunch of opportunities. Just saying, you could be taking on more stress.
oh, yeah. I've thought about starting my own thing, actually.
the
if
bike
we-
thing or another thing?
Just something I haven't.
Brisket. You should make briskets.
Yeah, but it just takes so much time. I took my mom because she made the best mix. We had brisket and we hit it with some mole. Oh, and I was like, Mom, we need to start this. She's like, yeah, but you're gonna work all the weekends. I'm like, no, I like my weekends. I like going to Tia Pancha now.
I go there all the time for the quesadillas.
The ones on the way back, the
Yep,
black
I
quesadillas.
I
This
went
guy
there
had some.
2 weeks ago, and you were gonna be there. I saw what was her name, Lupita.
I was there.
Yeah, she told me you were gonna meet him there. I had already finished eating mine, and they had just ordered theirs.
And then right next door, there's the churros.
Birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah.
You're speaking my language.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I ate
the
them too.
spot.
Have you ever been there?
Never.
You need to
So
go.
they sell quesadillas de flor de calabaza. So they're
I've seen them.
technically
I've
healthy.
seen them. I've seen your picture.
Pictures?
Like, yeah, this guy
Oh,
knows
yeah.
what's up. This guy knows.
But you need to get the ones with the chicharrón.
Chicharrón. Oh, yeah, that's the
Oh,
one
my
I got.
God.
Con papas. And then I tell them to add nopales too.
That's the only way.
Yeah,
So-
we
so-
kind of got way off.
So during
topic.
the week, what do you do during the week?
Oh
when you're
yeah, I
off?
mean, I sleep. I don't know, 10 hours a day. I'll eat breakfast somewhere, hang out with all the friends. I come over here all the time
So you're off right now, right? Until when?
till Monday night. I'll
So
go back
right
to work
now
Tuesday.
you're stress free.
Yeah.
Like no matter what, if we get out of here right now and I tell you, hey, let's go to Austin, you're like, I'm down. Why not?
Yeah, but I live over there, so
Oh yeah. Let's go to San Antonio
yeah, we
for
go
the
to
weekend.
San Antonio. No, I don't know now because I'm in a relationship, so
Yeah. Oh.
yeah,
How's that?
it's going good. I'm happy.
The so now that you have more money than when you were going to school, do you find it trouble to spend money now that you're like, you have enough money to, let's say, do whatever you want and not have to get another side job, do you find trouble like going and like spending, or are you a big spender and say, oh, during your off time you just spend a lot
Are
of money?
you still like
Frugal?
finding where you can save every
cheap.
penny?
I was trying to be cheap, but there's some, like my birthday, I rented a big old party boat, and then took all the cost there so all my friends could come and not have to worry about paying whatever the fee was.
Because you can do that now.
Because I can do that, and I didn't stress about it. I wasn't hurting. But now I got to be, a little tighter because I'm trying to
Save for a house.
save
For
for
a
a
house.
house, which is a really high cost, initial cost at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Are you having trouble being frugal again, or is it just like, oh, I'm back to normal?
No, it's back to normal.
The
It's
party
just-
bus thing sounds like it was just one day. Not, I didn't
Yeah, it was
rent
one-
one every day for the past
it was
3
and
months.
It was my birthday also,
Yeah.
so
Treat yourself, king.
yeah, and I had all my friends there, so it was.
Oh, I
Oh, that's
wasn't
good
there.
to know.
Yeah, I know,
'cause
I wish I
didn't-
could've
wasn't
invited y'all.
You weren't there. Is it
He
limited
said,
seating?
I had
Oh.
all my friends.
That
That was the devil talking right there.
But yeah, I mean, now I'm trying to be a little cheaper, cook more at the house, because for a while I was also going to fancy restaurants.
Dude, I
and
don't
all
even
that.
make
Tell
your
me about
salary, and I'm not eating at home all the time.
So this guy over here, he's living the anti-hustle life. So what do you think about the hustle culture?
I like it. I wish I was. When I was 14, I was painting houses, and I tell myself I wish I would have kept doing that. I could have been a contractor or something now.
Let me ask you, what do you think the hustle culture is? Because I think that's like one of those
Things
words
that you have
that
to
is
define
just like
yourself.
very like
Entrepreneurs find a way to make, just building business, selling items, selling services, labor work. That's what you're talking about, hustle culture. Or?
So we want to first establish together like what that means for each other and what the world thinks the hustle is. So I think you're right. Like that's one definition. Other people think it's like no matter what, just be on the go, 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 go.
you work a 9 to 5 and I work all shifts.
9 to 5 isn't hustle culture. That's being comfortable.
Ooh.
I think so.
You think so?
And how many hours do you work a day?
12.
12.
So
See, but if I was a hustle culture, I would work myself and still try to make money on the side, whether it's stocks, trying to start a business.
Where does that
Always,
what if you make a lot of money on a 9 to 5?
he would stay at home and
you still,
and do briskets on the weekend.
but you're plateaued even if you make a lot of money, right?
Year after year, you can be making more and more.
Oh.
And then the question would beg to be, what is a lot of money for you?
Well, when I was in college, I thought $50K in a year was going to be comfortable for me, but
Oh, now you think it's not?
yeah. Yeah.
See, because that's my thing is like your priorities shift with every shift that you make in your life. So it's never gonna change. It's never gonna the mentality is never gonna be okay, I'm there. Because every time you get to that place where you thought that was gonna be it, then it's gonna be more.
Mm-hmm.
That's my mindset. So for me it's like, you work. I don't believe in like hustle. Like work is just work. And then you're not working and you're having fun. So for me, it's like life is about being present. And if I'm working, then I'm working. But I don't consider myself like a hustler. I don't hustle to, if you can pay your bills, if you're making ends meet, you're just doing what you're supposed to do.
Work.
That's for me. But that whole idea of like I work all shifts, this, is for me is like from somebody that comes from sales is like, it's like that woo-woo language to sell on people. And I had another thing that I was going to say. If you could go back in time, would you follow the same path that you followed, or would you stick painting houses?
I think probably painting houses. Um, that area is, I guess, very low in demand versus where I'm at, and you could probably go more places with that because you could start that business and maybe start another one at the same time and maybe build and do more things other than just painting houses.
I met a guy on Instagram that started doing that, and then he opened up his own construction company. Now he just does commercial stuff. Every time like a hotel burns down, or big catastrophic things go down, like from hurricanes or stuff like that, he goes out and bids, and he's gotten a few big projects, and that's all he does now. So yeah, like you, who's that?
I think that's mine.
Where's it at?
Just push the top button or cancel it.
Yeah, so you could just start doing that, and then if you have a vision, I feel like there's people that are very motivated to do more, and you can do that anywhere you're at.
So you wouldn't consider what you're doing a hustle?
No.
No,
A job.
just a regular job.
Yeah.
But you're an LLC. You're a business.
Mm-hmm. But I only did it for tax purposes.
So you would consider yourself more like an employee,
Kind of, in a way, yes.
but legally you're your own business.
Yeah.
But you feel like because you're under somebody else's
Guidelines.
expectations and guidelines that you don't have that freedom.
I don't, because, I'm still stuck on that 14/7. I can't just take off a weekend and go hang out with the family and friends or something like that.
So where would you be in the difference between a 9-to-5 and an entrepreneur?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Like, are you somewhere in between, or because you're not a 9-to-5, right?
No, I'm not.
But you're not also an entrepreneur.
I guess I feel myself not a 9-to-5, but a 12 to 12.
12 to 12.
Or 6 to 6.
So how would it make you feel better to be an entrepreneur, where we use the word hustle, like you said, is like always figuring out how you can do more? How would you like that better?
I think it's just the drive that each individual has. I don't think I have that yet. That's which I haven't really tried hard to start hustling in that sense, because I'm comfortable where I'm at.
What does that mean? You haven't tried hard to start hustling?
So you have YouTube as your or books or friends that can, hey, you can do this, this, and this, so you can start doing whatever you want to do.
So at that point, are you being influenced, or is that what you really want to do? Because you just answered that if you had to do this again, if you had to make the decision, knowing what you know now, you would go back to painting houses. You're only making that decision based on the information that you have now. The kind of life you've lived and the experiences that you've had. If you're being influenced by other people, you still don't know what that looks like because you haven't lived that. So everything comes with a level of stress. It's like painting houses is nice, and painting houses.
No, it's the problem is getting the work.
Yeah. So how would it be any different? Why would you pick one over the other?
Well, if it was then, you would probably have already an established business to where you barely have to work. I don't know.
It's a lot of what ifs and
oh yeah, it is.
It's just a lot of timelines.
Like if my business was great and booming,
Overlapping.
I would prefer that over what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that it's going to be an easy journey to that either.
It's never. I could probably use the amount of hours I work at my now job and use it somewhere else and work the same hours or more probably, and be either where I'm at or
lower or
yeah.
higher. It all
depends.
depends on a lot of factors.
Do you? And I don't know. We don't have to get personal. You're my friend. I consider you my friend, so I wouldn't mind asking you. But you don't have to answer if you don't want to. Would you change your life right now if you want? Let's say you weren't buying the house, or you buy the house, and see, there's a lot of what ifs.
Yeah, there's a what ifs.
I can't even ask like those questions because you buy the house, you feel that responsibility to keep making those payments, and you're gonna want to feel, you want to be in a place where you feel that's a little bit more secure, versus starting your own business and be like, well, let's hope this goes well. So, but let's just paint this scenario where that's not the case. Would you give up what you have now and start something? Is that like you?
Probably not, because not at the moment, but
Mhm.
maybe later on, once everything gets settled down and the house is purchased and I can see what I need to cover everything for that month or year, whatever, then I can make the moves, I would say. Because right now I have steady income.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something I strongly consider as far as doing any decisions now or later in the near future.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I think your case is not your case, but like the way you work and your shifts and everything is very not unique, but it's very it's a little different than what we are all accustomed to. Like your 9 to 5, right? Your salary is based on commission, or you're a freelancer or an entrepreneur or a business owner, but you are kind of like a little bit of everything, where you have the freedom to do whatever you want 7 days,
Mm-hmm.
but you also have like a steady salary, but you also work 12 shifts,
12-hour shifts.
but you're also like an employee, but you're also like a business.
Yeah.
So it's kind of unique in that aspect. And that's kind of why we're asking you these questions,
No, yeah.
because like he works 4 hours a day, maybe 2,
Or maybe 12.
or maybe 12, right? So it just depends on, and I work around 8-10 hours a day. And I have both, and I'm both an employee and a business owner, and my case is a little different. So we're kind of just all learning from like, oh, that's why we're asking you all these questions. Like, well, what do you do on your time off whenever, what about a side hustle? Like, do you want that? Do you not want that? Why? Because we want to reflect that back to us and say, oh, I would like to do that, or no, I'm okay with that. And that's what everyone that's watching can learn from your shifts and what you do. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm not doing enough, or I want to do more. So yeah, that's kind of what we're asking, and also to reflect that on each other.
Yeah, I feel like these conversations are good to have because a lot of times we're influenced by what we see.
The hustle culture,
and
especially.
algorithms, they find their way to us. The internet has gotten so good at feeding us what we think we like, or what we, I think I'm a hustler.
Right.
I think I'm, I think I don't care about money, and all I care is about just peace and the nature. So the for me, it's like finding out who you really are, what you really want. And that comes from conversations, hopefully, like from people that you are friends with, you can respect. Obviously, we all want to prosper. And for me, the idea is, how can I find where I'm truly going to be happy, and where I don't feel that I'm doing this just from a outside source that led me to do these things. And then 10 years down the line, I'm like, I just wasted 10 years and I don't feel happy.
Right. So it's like this idea that you want a house. I think that's one of the biggest things that a person can do, is like buy something that they can say that they're theirs, but also like understand like why you're buying it. Is it for other people? Is it for yourself? And that's only things that you can answer yourself, right? Like we can't answer that for you. Like, and it's like, well, how big of a house, or like driving that car, getting in debt, things like that. It's like we're always trying to reflect those ideas. Like, why am I buying something? Is it for other people? Is it for myself? Right? I think a house is super important for sure, but also like understanding like why and how much you have to sacrifice, and
is it
what
because
you're
I can
willing to
afford this right
sacrifice.
now?
Like for me, like, yeah, like I want more land, right? Like I want more land. We always reason ourselves into buying things. And it's like, oh, I want more land because I want to bring my family, and I want them to park somewhere.
Confirmation bias. You're always going to be the easiest person to lie to.
Right.
Oh, I need this because of this.
But sometimes it's not lying. Sometimes it's reality.
Yeah.
Like you want that because of this.
And
it doesn't necessarily mean it's a lie to yourself.
And nothing is wrong. You wanting anything is not wrong, but is it just for what? And I think a lot of the conversations are understanding that everything comes with a sacrifice, and sometimes it's sacrificing, the Christmas parties and the family birthdays. to get the house so you can have people over on next Thanksgiving and you can cook for everyone. You know, there's that satisfaction that comes from you being able to do that, you being able to rent out the party bus and having all your friends over. Like there's that comes from you know, like your hard work and labor. Like I don't think that it's bad to want more if you enjoy that, but for me it's like what, like looking deep inside is like, okay, I'm doing this for the long run for the rest of my life, or I'm making these decisions based on short term because I want to do this next. It's just understanding like why you're thinking the way you're thinking. At least for me, that's how I see things and why I have these conversations with my friends.
Yeah, like even the house, like let's say, I mean, I just thought about this because I've seen it on a Netflix special or a Netflix show that it was about money. It's like you can buy the house when you're off and when you're away. Like you can rent it out and make more income. Like do an Airbnb. That's what the company, the couple that was on there was doing, and their goal was to retire by 35, I think. 35 or 45, something like that, and they needed $2.5 million invested to be able to live off of that investment, and then they just get paid from
Off
those
of interest.
Yeah, and I calculated how much I need, and we need about $900 to $1 million to retire, which is, I mean, it's not out of this world.
Now's the time to invest.
Yeah, now's the time to invest. And once you have that, like then you can retire and live off, let's say 50,000 or whatever that you need a year, and then you don't have to.
But if you move to Mexico,
yeah, I could retire.
You need
right
about
now.
10 grand a year.
A year, yeah, 800 a month. I think that's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always seen this about like, is like the way you live your life, right? So your lifestyle. If you drive a Ferrari and you go out to eat at expensive restaurants, obviously you're gonna need to make a lot more money to just live off of your whatever it is, your investments. But if you live like in a 3-bedroom house with one kid or whatever, and you drive that Toyota car that you've had for the past 8 years, and you eat at home, and on the weekends you go out, you don't need that much money. So it's always like, for me, that's why for me it's like, what do I really need? What makes me happy? So I've had a $30 steak, and I haven't had a $300 steak yet, but I've had a $100 steak. And for me, the flavor or the whatever the experience was, aside from like the place where I was sitting at, wasn't that different. So if I'm gonna base my lifestyle around this $30 steak, then I can afford to like not make this X amount of money and have to give up these extra parties for the last 5 years of my life to live that kind of lifestyle with the kind of like income that I'm making right now. Just an example. So that's why I'm always like, the lifestyle you want is the lifestyle you want, and it comes with some responsibilities and some what do you call them?
Sacrifices.
Or if you're economico, you can go buy a Wagyu steak at HEB and cook it, and then it's even better than your $100 steak.
Yeah, I get my stuff from Kroger, just because it's right around the corner from my house.
Mm-hmm.
But I use an air fryer. You can judge me all you want, but that's the only way I know how to make it, and it's usually pretty good.
What is something that you're like, oh, I spent a lot of money on this? The party boat?
The party boat.
Yeah.
And it's probably like $2,000 for that day.
But I mean, if you think about it, I mean, it is a lot, but it's like a wedding is like 20, 30K.
Oh.
Right? So it's like your birthday,
coming up.
All right. It's going to be a backyard wedding.
It's like a
Because somos económicos.
Both of you guys?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea. Good thing to be financially in the same goal is double
just being economic there's no sense in paying 10 grand to what is the word?
Feed your friends and family.
No, to entertain your guests and family when you're really just, it's your wedding. Like, just get the basics out of the way and you can spend the rest of the money on something else or a nice trip. That's even more memorable.
But what if you have it? What if you have for both?
Oh, I don't know. I think I still would. You could, you could pocket the rest.
But what if you have it? What if you have enough to pocket and enough to...
Oh, then go for it, I would say.
And how would you know?
How do you...
Because for me, it's all about like mindsets, right?
So
I feel like you can afford to do things sometimes, and you're still in that mindset of like, yes, I can, but if I still pocket this, then you're thinking about the next thing.
I think if you can pay it cash and go for it.
And I only say this because whenever I was younger and I was in like my hustle mode that I quote unquote had, is like I never missed a day from work. I was there like on holidays. On the weekends I was doing my DJ gigs, all these things. And for me it was like, yeah, I can go eat at I can go to Salt Licks and enjoy that, like that little buffet that they offer there.
So good.
And leave feeling like with some regret after eating so much. Or I can save the money and not go on that trip and keep stacking it on my bank account. Because I always liked looking that thing go up. So it's like, yeah, I can afford to do that, but I'm gonna still keep saving it for me it's like, it's mindsets. Right. Oftentimes we can afford to do certain things, but we have that mindset of, I want more because I've experienced scarcity, and it's like, I don't want to go through that again, so I'm just gonna play it safe and keep racking it up, as they call it.
The way I see it is a big want versus need. I've been wanting a lot of things, but I don't need it. So this is my decision maker right here, is my needs.
See, right? That's great. It's like, we always talk about this, is like, sometimes logic goes out the window when you say you want stuff. Is like, oh, do I really need this? And you, like you said, you'll find a way to justify why you need it.
Economics.
Yeah, for our wedding, we saved up about 13, 15 grand. We just paid everything cash. But we wanted that. We wanted a wedding that we could enjoy, that we could have, pictures of for forever. And we were able to do that. And, I mean, we just did it.
That was a nice wedding. Wow, the moment I was there.
Yeah, you went for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Why'd you leave?
Work.
Oh yeah, you had to work. Sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, we didn't even...
We had a picture. We got a picture.
Yeah, we got a picture. I had to crop it out recently, but I still got it.
So we did that. Like, anything that we want, we'd budget for, and we get it. Like, we don't have to, especially if it's like a memory or something that we're gonna have like forever. Those things that are very valuable for.
Was it this year or last year that you guys went on like 17 trips?
That was like last year, before we had kids.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided we're going to travel. We're out of debt. We're going to spend about 2 years traveling. We went to a lot of places like Chicago, Mexico, El Salvador. I forgot where else. But yeah, we went to a lot of different places, and we were going to keep going, but then the pandemic and all that stuff happened.
I mean, the pandemic was the best for me because I bought my bike. I rode bikes 3 times a week. I got furloughed, which to me was nice.
What?
Laid off, but they still pay you for your insurance. That was like a month and a half, 2 months, and then they hired me back.
Yeah.
But I went to Colorado. I did all the sorts of things. When you don't have time, took advantage of that, I guess.
Yeah. That's really nice. What did you do in Colorado?
Mountain bike, camp.
You go to Colorado a lot? I feel like you've gone.
Yeah, I know most of it pretty well. I don't really need maps anymore.
Yeah, I think that's a place where that's my go-to place for going somewhere is Colorado, because it's fresh. There's sun, but it's also cool, and it's dry, and then there's mountains, and there's like in the small like area, there's so many different things. There's Colorado Springs. There's the mountains, and then there's Denver, and then there's just so many things in a little area of like 1 hour away from each other.
I've never been.
I think I used to like Pikes Peak, but I think Rocky Mountain National Park is the better place to go because you get all the panoramic views, and you have to hike maybe 10 minutes on all those.
Pikes
stops.
Peak it's pretty cool.
It is.
Yeah, you should go.
I need to go. So when you go mountain biking around here, where do you go?
Sugarland, or
You have to go all the way to
Cypress.
Sugarland.
So
Yeah.
you're into my mountain biking too, right?
I've had a lot of interest in my life, right? I took up road biking for like a whole year and a half. I got a road bike, and I started riding. You know, first time I went out there, I went for like 5 miles, and my butt was hurting, and I just kind of stuck with it. So I have weird stages where I pick up things, and that summer in particular, I rode literally every single day for like 4 months. And I got to a point where I was riding like 30 miles, you know, and if I felt good. And then it got cold and I stopped. I picked it back up, and, you know, the next spring or whatever, and I had fallen off on my miles, and I kind of like tried to get back up there. Then I stopped again, and somewhere along the line I saw a mountain bike, and I bought it. And I started going to like the trails on Car Barton, the little walking trails that I probably shouldn't use my bike on. So the first time I went, I remember was like after a light rain day, and I was getting like mud splattered all over me.
That's a big no-no.
Yeah, that's probably like a new move, but like, yeah, I was getting mud splattered all over me. I remember my hands hurt so much the next day. I didn't know like the amount of like shock that your hands take.
You have to have good shocks, no, for that thing to
Yeah.
happen.
When you ask what's my big purchase, probably my mountain bike.
Yeah, it's like $2,000.
Well, way more than that.
Like 5K.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the one I saw at your garage that one time, or that was another one?
Blue?
I think so. You had 2 of them.
Yeah. I have 3.
Yeah. So see, that's the cool thing about like you can afford to get those things, and those are things that you enjoy. Like,
And then the big picture, like, yeah, it's a lot, but it's not a lot. Like if you're making over 100, or let's say over 80, it's like,
Yeah. So I hate the gym, so I was like, I'm gonna buy this bike so I can not go to the gym, just ride bikes.
that's your
Yeah.
justification.
Yeah,
see?
that's
Like,
exactly
you
what it
justify the purchases.
Yeah.
But you still enjoy it, right? You still go, you still do it.
Yeah. When I'm in Austin,
I just saw
ride
a post
lot in
of you
Austin.
riding in Austin.
Yeah,
not
those
too
You
long
have your
ago.
Those are-
GoPro.
I have now a little drone now, so I have GoPro
Follows
drone.
you.
It's
That's
a
awesome.
nice.
This is not like a poor game, poor people's game. Riding with the GoPro followed by a
Yes.
drone.
Yeah, so I think us as like, man, we have hobbies that sometimes are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I was just bougie because I had a affordable bike, and I just liked it so much. So I was like, I'm gonna get this, and it'll be worth it more. And
Yep.
And then I added more upgrades. Cause
Does it feel? Can you feel the
The
difference,
difference
when you're
between
riding?
like a cheap bike and a good bike, a good quality.
Oh,
bike.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the difference between quality. Is like you don't know it until you feel it.
Right.
Like you don't know what a nice shirt feels like until you wear it, or like nice shoes, or like a nice car. Like you get in a nice car, like in a nice luxury car, you're like, oh my gosh, these doors close like, and then this leather,
the
and then
buttons
the
click,
buttons click, and everything just, and then you drive, and then you don't feel the.
slack. Everything feels nice.
You
and
hit a
tight.
bump, and it just goes,
Yeah, that's
Instead
exactly
of-
how it feels.
bah!
Yeah.
Like your coilovers or your Honda Civic. It's just like, bah!
Coilovers, cut
Didn't
springs.
you
That's-
drive a Honda? Like what happened to the Honda? Wasn't it like cheaper than your bike?
yeah, it was like $300. I bought it cash.
I love that thing.
Yeah, and I got
cut
the
exhaust.
I got the muffler for 2 dozen tamales. That's how much it cost me.
That your mom made. You didn't even make them.
No, I went to Arandas. So it was like $20.
So you told this person like, hey, I'll buy that muffler for a dozen tamales.
No. So my friend owns a shop, and I was like, hey, I lost my muffler. I didn't pick it up. I just left it there because it fell. And he's like, yeah, I got this muffler here. And I was like, hey, how much to install? He's like, man, just bring me 2 dozen tamales and I'll take care of it.
Nice.
See, that's what I love is like you can know people and it's
Yeah.
just straight stuff.
Yeah. Also, like your friends, like, yeah, it's like you're like a trade, and it's like, yeah, that's awesome.
It's like
Yeah.
I would do it for free, but
Well, he's
Yeah.
like my
Tamales.
big brother because
Yeah.
I grew up living across the street from him. So
So he hooked you up with a muffler.
with-
Well, you were running without a muffler for a while.
yeah, it was loud.
I was like, man, that thing has got some cams or something.
I remember you told me this story, I guess not too long after you had gotten it. And was it 4th of July? I don't know why 4th of July comes up to mind.
I'm not exactly.
When'd you... So I remember I saw you at Buffalo Wild Wings when you had just gotten your
Your truck?
your when you had just become a resident.
Oh yeah, I didn't have that car then. I don't think.
Was it 4th? I don't know, but I remember something about 4th of July. Either that or you did something with that car for 4th of July. There was a story behind that I remember you telling me.
I just remember screaming freedom the whole
Yeah.
time.
Freedom.
Yeah. I don't remember, but I know I threw a permanent resident party, and there was a lot of American flags everywhere.
Nice. Permanent resident party.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, it's a big milestone
Yeah, it's
as
huge.
far as doing whatever you can as far as
Congratulations,
jobs.
dude.
Yeah, it's
So how do you feel the difference between your Honda and now the truck that you drive?
well. Honestly, I had more fun with the Honda, even though it was a $300 car. I was happier. I didn't care. It was loud.
So there.
Yeah, so I think that's what I mean whenever we talk about this show and like living the dream.
That
Well-
was me being happy.
Yeah, so it's like you're sold like that this truck is happier and all these things and all these stuff is happier, but then you're like you're already living the dream before you were even chasing it.
It was
you know?
like that meme of like, I wish I knew when the good old times were before they were past.
Oh yeah.
You know, like that there comes a sense of like just joy from being able to like beat on things, right? Like that Honda, I'm pretty sure you didn't baby it too much.
No.
So you just, it's like a kid, you know, you just let loose with it. You're not really worried about it's going to break. It's just like, you're really just enjoying the thing. Do you guys follow like Whistling Diesel?
No.
I've heard of it, but not.
So he basically blew up on YouTube by beating up his cars. Like he'll set them on fire. He'll do all these things. He gradually started getting like better cars, more expensive trucks, and all the hate that he would get from him beating up these things is kind of what basically took him to stardom, because now he's like super big. He buys anything he wants, and he talks about like, you know, I started doing this because I really just wanted to enjoy my truck and take it out into like the trails and then just beat it up. He's like, I just wanted to have fun with it. So why should I change now that this $5,000 truck changed into a $100,000 truck? I still want to have fun. And so that was his mindset behind doing the things. And that's basically what's gotten him to the place where he's at now. So that's kind of what I was talking about. Like that car was giving you the freedom and the happiness that you wanted, versus now I'm pretty sure you're not
You're like, oh, I can't.
redlining your truck.
Well, the reason I sold is because my dad had this coworker that needed a car, and I'm like, well, I don't care for that
You
car.
should have sold him your bike.
How much you
Right.
sell it for?
300.
300. I bought a $400 car back in the day. It was a Sentra. Do you remember it?
Yeah.
The trunk would just, I mean, it wouldn't open, right? I mean, it wouldn't close. There wasn't a hole,
Mhm.
right? There was just a hole. There wasn't a key
You had to
thing.
tie it down.
Yeah, I had to tie it down so it would just go boom when I drove, right? I drove it without water for like miles. And then I was like, oh, crap, I have to put water in.
17 days.
Yeah. And it was like, I bought it for $400, and then the guy I bought it off of, he regretted it so bad. He's like, "Come on, man, I'll buy it back. Because it had AC, and it was a gas saver, and I mean,
400
$400.
bucks.
Yeah,
I'm
but
looking for another car like that.
and,
Just,
it was just, I mean, and then I bought my I had my Subaru already, but I parked it and I just drove that one.
Mm,
I sold it to this lady for $500.
made a
Damn.
profit.
I came out at a loss on that car. I blew the radiator, fixed it. I replaced the CV shafts because it was wobbling too much.
2 dozen
Fixed that.
tamales.
The 2 dozen tamales.
Yeah.
So it was a better car when I sold it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, but you could afford to give somebody the opportunity to have a nicer car than you for
Yeah.
$300.
So that's why I got rid of it. I mean,
Mhm.
to help that guy out.
That's cool. I think that's where like we're wanting more for, more financial stability and wanting more out of life can allow you to have those opportunities to help people, so anytime you can do it, kind of like you enjoy that car that you can just pick up and beat up. When you can help somebody out and it doesn't hurt you, there comes a sense of joy that you get out of helping people that I think is really nice too.
Well, I saw it yesterday.
Ooh.
I'm
Did you
still
wanna
driving.
buy it? Did you want to buy it?
Oh, I
back?
wish I could. But I was happy that
Still
someone was
driving?
still driving. it.
Yeah, see, so like, I don't know. For me, it's oftentimes it's just like the little things.
What year was it?
95.
Oh, those are the nice ones. I want a 95.
Man.
What was it?
Yeah.
A Civic what?
Just a sedan. I don't know. That's LX,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, those are going nice, pristine. The quality is like 5-6 grand.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
5.
Pristine.
I've seen something for like 9
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if they're
wheels.
They're too
If they have
expensive now,
VTEC,
I
yeah.
think.
Yeah, they're super expensive.
They're like they're making a comeback. I feel like a lot of people are.
Yeah, they're going back
Oh.
to the 90s where cars weren't as complicated,
As
and
they
you
are
could
now.
you could just engine blew up, just change it. you
Yeah.
know?
And it's still
Oh,
cheap.
Yeah, and it's still cheap. Oh, your
It's
transmission broke, just change it.
easier than changing spark plugs on some of these new cars.
Yeah, I changed mine on my Ford. And I started misfiring and all that. So I had to take it to the Ford and have them change them again.
Where
much
did you
they
get it
charge
from?
you?
How much did they charge you?
Oh, so I was smart at the time. I
You're
bought
under
the extended warranty, and the turbo went out too, so it covered all that. And I just paid the
I got a
difference.
3.5.
Yeah.
So we're about an hour and a half in.
Oh wow.
How did that feel?
Like 30 minutes.
It's like your first time, baby.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we have a lot more to talk about, but we have other matters to attend to. Well, I do.
Oh, yeah.
So if you guys want to keep going, you guys can keep going.
It's up to you.
It don't matter to me. I'm in no time frame today.
How much longer?
I have about 30 minutes, and I'll be back. Maybe not.
Yeah, and we still have to do something else.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, we can keep going for a little bit longer. I don't mind. I don't want to cut you off either, and we still have a
I
little
don't
bit
matter. I
of
can
time.
come
Yeah,
back
see-
another day.
see, I can keep
I'm
going.
on.
And
Yeah,
finish
we'll
it,
keep it
wrap
going.
it up.
I want to hear more stories. I feel like we got in a little bit deep in the beginning.
You said wait everywhere.
It was like it almost felt like an intervention. Like, why are you doing what you're doing, sir? Why are you living your life the way you're living it?
I mean, sometimes it is what it is the way I see it.
Yeah, I think it's good to like have these conversations and not be scared to like look at your friend and ask him like, hey man, why are you doing this? Like, what is it all for? Like, is
Right.
it because you really want this, or just because kind of like Luis said, is like you've been sold on the dream that this is the thing that's gonna make you happy, which is I feel like sometimes what like they tell you, go to school, do this, and then you're gonna be really happy. And for me, it's like, as cliche as it may sound, is like, I mean, just life is life, and you're supposed to just enjoy it no matter what you're doing. And sometimes you have to really look at yourself and be like, well, am I really doing that, or am I just kind of like going through life just coasting and like whatever happens, and if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. And I'm going to either take everything like really negatively because I regret every decision that I've made, or am I going to look at my life and like, all right, well, that's what happened, and now I'm here, and I'm just still going to make the best of it, But I'm glad we kind of shifted into like
Oh.
the more fun stuff.
Yeah. No, I think that's better. A little more. Keep the flow going. I didn't even think it was an hour already. An hour and a half of.
Yeah, talking goes by fast, man. If Luis wouldn't distract us. Oh, your keys. Oh, there you... So, where'd you get the truck from? Because I used to work at the Ford here in Conroe.
It's
Oh, you
that
got it?
Ford with the camper on top.
I haven't seen it. I don't think.
Oh, it was with the camper.
Oh yeah.
It was right there in the corner in the main little circle.
I don't know.
It came with over the rooftop tent, the rack, the little.
I haven't worked there for a while, and then they kind of like cycle trucks pretty fast. So, but who'd you buy it from?
I forget his name. He was Hispanic.
Froy?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it new?
No.
Used?
Yeah. Used. Used.
Juan? Or was he like shorter and a little bit chunkier?
He was skinny.
He was skinny?
Chunky.
Probably Juan. Yeah.
I don't know the names.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty cool. And how have you been liking it?
I liked it because it had the tent thing, and I was gonna travel.
Yeah.
Travel 2-3 times, and I called it quits.
So are you into like traveling to like camping and all that stuff?
I was, but I need I would say the tent wasn't what I liked, so I was trying to get another one, or maybe get a camper and just put it on the back of the truck so I can put a bed in there.
Okay. So you know Jesse, right?
Yeah.
He's been getting into like camping and like hiking and all that stuff. So I've had to learn a little bit of that kind of like that whole niche because he's been telling me about it. But he's like, yeah, I just bought this tent and it's like so many ounces lighter than the other one that I had.
Oh, to put in his backpack?
Yeah, so he hikes and then he sets everything up. He's like, my bag is under like 15 pounds with 4 days worth of food. Like he's serious about it like
wow.
that. We actually just went hiking with him a couple weeks ago. My first 8 miles that I've ever hiked. I was like, 8 miles.
You'll be sore the next day.
Yeah, I was a little sore. So you're more into like the camping versus like the hiking, or you kind of like want to do both?
So what I was doing is I was going to Colorado and staying on the side of the mountain when it was free.
Yeah.
And that was one of the worst mistakes ever because that was the coldest night I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
It snowed 3 inches that night.
Dang. Were you not prepared for it?
Well, I thought I was. I had
Did you have
sweatpants, a jacket. I had a cobija inside a
Did you
sleeping
have
bag.
your tigre? Cobija?
Yeah, exactly. I
The
had a
thick
tigre.
one?
It still wasn't enough. I was
You would think.
freezing.
Yeah, so he's like all into that. So he's gotten deep down in the YouTube rabbit hole of like, the best jacket for rains, the best clothing, the best socks to be hiking on, like merino wool, so it can be like antibacterial and like if you get your feet wet, they won't like soak up the water too much. I don't know what all he says, but have you gotten like that deep into it or not really?
No, I mean I would just find a place to camp over there in Colorado and just pitch the tent there, and then to go shower I would go to a gym.
Would you like cook? Have you ever seen those Instagram videos where they're like out in the middle of like a place and they just set up like their little thing and they're cooking right there?
So yeah, I have a propane grill.
Yeah.
And I have my skillet and it's ready to go.
Those things are cool. That I want to do something like that.
And I actually use it when I barbecue outside to like grill some onions or jalapenos, for the burgers.
Dude, you're set.
Yeah, you gotta be prepared.
I'm a little jealous that you've never invited me out to any of your briskets.
I need to. I'm trying to do more, balance more hanging out with my friends and family now. Yeah. Versus just doing my own thing a lot.
It's hard. It's hard to like we always say I'm super busy, and like you'll see those Instagram posts like text your loved ones before you regret, and you look at them, you're like, yeah, that's true. And I don't know, like it's always seemed to me like you're like a family person. And Like, you know, some of the best laughs I've had is like with my parents, just like saying stupid stuff. And yeah, it's like sometimes it's a little hard realizing that what you're doing is like, you know, you need to slow down and like go visit your parents or say hi to your family, spend time with your friends. But I think one of the important things is just realizing that you're missing that in your life, and then just kind of like I said, don't beat yourself up. Be like, okay, well then I just need to do that now. Have you been getting better at that, or?
Yeah, I'm trying to spend more time with my parents too and my family.
Yeah.
And just making myself to also text my friends here, because there was a time where I would just send memes and that was it.
Yeah.
That was our conversation.
Dude, that's me and my brother. That's our relationship. It's just memes.
And then I'm trying to do better where if I do hang out, I need to put my phone away.
Oh, yeah.
That's because then you're on the phone anyway.
Yeah.
You're just hanging out, but you're like not hanging out.
So why'd you get rid of your social media? Was it just to kind of avoid distractions and be more present wherever you're at?
Yeah, and as far as notifications, because say you're on the phone and you get one and your first instinct's to check.
Yeah.
So if you don't see any things pop up, then you're more focused on the person in front of you. And I have really bad ADHD. I mean, if I hear something, I'll turn around. I get distracted pretty easily.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. What made you want to do that?
People notice the difference when you put your phone away and just focus on talking to them. They'll notice quick.
But when did you say like, okay, this is starting to be a problem? Maybe I should start putting it away.
Oh, just comments. Oh, you're always on your phone.
Oh, people called you out for it. Yeah, I think that's good to have friends that tell you like where you might have like a shortcoming, or they feel like they're talking to you and you're not listening. You're like, dude, why am I even talking to you? You're always on your phone.
Oh yeah, like if you're talking to me, I'm over here like, and I'm just nodding, and then what did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that happen too. I mean, I'm still guilty. I still do it sometimes.
Yeah.
It needs to be a change for everybody, because the phone is just draining everybody's attention away from the person in front of you.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like you said, we're all guilty of it, and a part of it is like awareness, like being aware that you're doing it and then kind of like stopping yourself. But yeah, it's like I'm guilty of it too. A lot of the times is like, no, I'm listening. Like I can multitask. I can hear what you're saying, but you're not really present. You're not fully there like you should be.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. So how have you felt now that you've been putting it away?
Well, the person that really can tell is my mom. The conversation goes better. It goes a longer way. You're not saying yes or no or little comments. You're actually carrying the conversation. And I think that's what it's more important is when you hang out with your parents, just put that phone away and just be there, because, you know, we're getting old. And
yeah. Did you get like a sense of anxiety whenever you first started doing it?
No, I was like, man, let me try this. And then.
But you weren't like your phone wasn't in your, like on the side or in your pocket.
No, I left it in my truck.
So yeah. You were like, I'm going to burn this bridge. So if I want to do it, it's going to take me like effort to go and do that. Yeah, that's good. Because we kind of like I was telling you, like, you know, sometimes logic goes out the window and we'll fall into temptation. Well, Luis and, you know, Jesse, they're pretty fit. And they always tell me, like, dude, you have all the information. And it's literally the same energy to pick the right food versus not the right food. I'm like, yeah, but, you know, my logic just goes out the window whenever I have that. If I would see that brisket taco or the brisket con mole in a salad, I'm going for the brisket every time.
Oh, yeah, every time.
Yeah, especially with a little fat in it. That's cool, man.
Yeah, sometimes when I don't have time to get food and my girlfriend's visiting me, she'll sneak in a salad for me. I'm like, oh, dang. Like, I don't want this salad, buddy.
What are you trying to say here?
Yeah, I know.
So how long do you mind talking about it? How long have you been in a relationship? You don't have to either.
About 6 months.
Okay.
Like I don't know I know the exact thing, but
Yeah,
I don't want to go
so
into
like,
detail.
ya te va a mandar mensaje.
Yeah.
Oh, so you don't know, huh? You're playing games.
Yeah.
You're trying to hide me here.
No, I'm not trying to hide nothing.
No, that's funny. No, that's cool. And how did you guys meet?
Oh, just through mutual friends, kind of. kind of deal. It wasn't no Tinder or
No
no
Tinder.
cheese spa.
Dude, I feel like there's certain people that are gonna get that and they're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah.
They got it. That's awesome, man. And does she have like kind of like the same interests, like hiking or not
Yeah.
hiking, camping?
Everything.
Dude, that's
Even mountain
awesome.
biking.
Oh,
I've
yeah?
taken her there, yeah. And she surprised me because there were some things that I didn't think she was going to be able to do. And she was right there with me. I'm like, okay.
Were you ever scared to do like? Because I've seen like you record videos of like certain jumps.
Mhm.
Now, I've never done that, but I feel like if I went out there, I would probably be scared.
You have to work your way up to it.
So how do you start like getting to that point? Like, do you watch videos or you just kind of like go out there and try the small ones and then get a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger?
Yeah, videos and having someone that knows how to do it pretty well, talk you through it, and then just repetition.
Yeah.
Because I went to a place by Giddings, Texas, and it was just this little jump, and I did that like 20 times, and then I progressed to a different one that was a little bigger. Did that a couple times, so I was just comfortable, and then and then I got hurt. So
How'd you get hurt?
I was trying to ride off this, I guess, drop, and I was going too fast.
Oh,
And
you sent it a little too hard.
yeah, and then that killed the trip because we were actually planning on going to Austin and some other place, but from there we just
So what happened?
went straight home.
What did you hurt?
My hip, I scraped my whole hip and my elbow.
Oh, so
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I couldn't pedal no more.
that's crazy.
Yeah, it was. There's I guess Instagram on it.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah.
I'll have to go look for it
Yeah,
later on.
You'll see it.
Dang. And what else do you do right now? Like you said, you haven't really done the bike thing too much.
Oh, the rain and the weather. If it rains, you have to check if the trails are good to go. If not, then you'll ruin the trails.
I messed up big time.
Yeah. The ones in Carbon, I don't think they're really that important because people just hike
Yeah,
there.
who
There's
cares
not many
about
mountain
those,
bikes.
right?
But there's some in the Woodlands that's about 30 miles.
Oh yeah. I don't think I can do 30 miles anymore.
15 is for mountain bike. 10 is good,
Yeah.
honestly. I go to Cypress Wood, the Woodlands, but I love Sugarland locally. And then Austin, there's way better.
So what is the difference between like Sugarland and Cypress Wood?
Sugarland is all smooth, but there's like a nice little jump section there, and it's green, it's pretty. There's a lot of ups and downs. And Cypress Wood, it's about the same, but if you ever go there,
You know the difference?
yeah.
I need to hit some of these spots up.
When Sugarland is just more hills, and I like the little roller coaster rides is what I call it.
Yeah.
It's fun. You meet a lot of people too. They'll show you around, or they'll help you out, or the mountain biking community is pretty helpful and fun. I mean, everyone's welcoming, no matter what level you are.
Yeah, that's one of the cool things about like, kind of like I was telling you earlier, like how Jesse has joined all these like trailing groups, and like, I feel like that's one of the good things that social media offers is like, kind of like exposes you to a big community of people that kind of like enjoy doing what you do, and you can use that as a tool to meet other people or know about these better places. But then, yeah, I've been witness of like people that go and do these things for fun, and then they're just on their phone all day. It's like, it's like, I'm gonna go do this, and then they're there and they're just like recording, and then they're like, they never drop their phone, kind of.
Oh, like hiking wise is what you
Yeah, hiking or like whatever. Like, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go. Let's just say bowling, and then they're just like on their phone all day, the whole time. It kind of like reminded me of what you said, like putting your phone away, just
enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, with mountain biking, it's from what I've noticed, people are on the phone, but they're like just filming mostly their little items or just updating their stories on what we're doing.
Yeah.
But other than that, like you can't be on your phone and ride a bike.
So you said a drone earlier. Sorry to interrupt you, but what kind of drone?
It's just a little mini SE, I think is what it is. DJI. It was a gift from my girlfriend.
And do you just put it like on follow mode and it just kind of?
I'm learning how to fly it still.
Okay.
I'm trying to do little river follows or something, but I forget to record all the time.
You send it up and forget to hit
Yeah,
record.
yeah.
Yeah. I use drones too, and that's why I was asking, because I don't know if you've seen, there's like it's a few years old, but it uses AI, and it needs no one to pilot it, and
Just
it
follows the
just
controller.
it follows you. So I think you set it with your phone, and you just you do a little box over you, and it'll literally follow you down trails, like in between trees.
Mhm.
It's AI, and I saw the preview of it. I saw a few like people demo it, and it actually did pretty good. I don't know if it took off very well, but that was like I don't know why I thought maybe like you had gotten something similar to that. And if not, you ought to check it out.
I think if I do anything, it'll be in Mexico as well. Get some good footage.
Yeah. Have you ever gone down there to ride?
In Mexico? No, but I want to. Just here, if you do the crazy stuff, it's better to have a lift because going up is a pain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know those Instagram videos where they're like breathing really hard?
Oh,
That's how
yeah.
I am. And
Yeah. Yeah, it's no joke. But yeah, man. So let's see. We're about an hour 45. I think we should kind of call it a day.
oh, yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you for coming by. Usually it's Luis and Ray that are the host. I had to make a last minute intervention for them.
Oh, yeah.
But thanks for coming by, and we appreciate you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
All right, dude. Thanks. See you guys. Thanks for signing in. Thanks for watching. And on behalf of Luis and Ray, you guys have a good weekend.
Peace out.